At number 8, this one may shock y'all. Like, a lot. And I'm not going to apologize for it or anything. Y'all just going to have to deal with this. I will explain, though, why I have them at number 8. So get ready for this. All right, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me shut this door and we'll get right into this. It is extremely late on my Saturday night. Technically, if you want to be a nerd about it, it is Sunday morning, but you know, I still haven't went to bed yet. Show the time, 1:47 a.m. And similar to last week, I figured, hey, why not do the same thing? I'm coming out with my rankings tonight. Not waiting. I've already rewatched some film, already, I just did my nerd stuff, all right? Did the nerd stuff. I looked at the strength of record, schedule, eye test, did all that stuff. I'm coming out with my rankings tonight. No, yeah, too. Let me address this. I got to sit down and erase it, actually. We'll just hurry up. Speed. Set the eraser down. Mic up real quick. The amount of people that have tweeted at me, sent me messages on Instagram, wrote in the comment section on YouTube, oh, I guess Matt ain't making video tonight on the Bama game, because that's when I'm speaking. That video, it hasn't been uploaded quite just yet. It's still rendering on the computer. I'll get to that in just a second. I have received at least 100 tweets. This ain't even counting the YouTube comment section. I looked at that a little bit. There's had to be 200 comments. People saying stuff like, and it cracks me up, oh, well, see the type of guy Matt is. When Alabama loses, he don't post a YouTube video. My brother in Christ, let me ask you a question. When have I not posted a YouTube video after an Alabama game, win or lose? Come on now. I don't know why people still comment stuff like that. And I know a lot of you understand it, but I guess we still, like I said, there's been at least 100 people tweet at me saying, oh, well, you're not posting video tonight, Matt? What are you doing? Like, come on now, that's not fair. You post videos when Colorado loses, this team loses, but Bama loses. Oh, you're not going to talk about it? I guess I have to explain myself. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I don't know what some of y'all think goes into making a YouTube video, but I can't just snap my finger and pop one out. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and I'll break it down to you. And by the way, I'm a one-man show. As y'all can see, there's not some huge production set. There's not 12 people behind the camera. And I want to explain to y'all real briefly before we get into these rankings, just a tad bit of what goes on behind the scenes. Number 1, what you see, we record the videos, whether it be a live reaction or post-game reaction, takes anywhere from 20, 25, 30, 35, however long the video is. Number 2, you gotta edit the video. So after you pop the SD card out of the camera, put it into your laptop, even though there's not a lot of editing that goes into these videos, like the reaction videos and whatnot, you still gotta do that. Number 3, and this is what takes all the time in the world, it has to render on the computer. That right there alone takes anywhere from normally 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes longer. And then after you get done with that, you gotta upload it to YouTube. By the way, you don't just snap your finger and that happens. It takes like 20, 25 minutes for it to clear all the YouTube steps. It has to get approved, yada, yada, yada. There's a process. So for all the people wondering why it's taking so long for the Alabama OU video to be uploaded, that's why. Getting that out the way, I know a lot of you aren't even here for that. Let's get into these rankings. This is a relatively simple premise. I'm going to give you the new top 12 teams in the nation. And unlike the nerds on the committee, I'm going to explain to you in deep detail why I have each team where they're at. Oh yeah, too, let me address this because I did see one of these comments on one of the recent videos of somebody saying, Matt, instead of just listing off 1 through 12, your top 12 teams, you should do the playoff format like the committee does, where you have like whatever teams playing one another. Like the boxes, you know what they do, how they have the boxes and then, semifinals and stuff like that. Let me explain to you why I don't show you like the hypothetical matchups. Because they don't matter. Let me explain to you why I don't do that. When they show you these rankings and they have, for example, let me pull it up. Like last week, there are 5 auto bids because they're predicting them to win their conference. Is Oregon number 1, 2 Texas, 3 Miami, 4 Boise, and then 12, which will be the last automatic bid, BYU, but they're not going to be there anymore. They are just guessing and predicting those teams are going to win their conference. We don't know they're going to win their conference. So that's why I don't even do that. There's no point of it because we don't know. I just don't see a point of doing that. So until the conference championships are over, I'm not going to be guessing who's going to win the conference championships and doing any of that. I'm just going to give you my top 12 teams. All right, cool. Like we've done every week, we're going to start at 12 and work our way up. At number 12, please just hear me out on this. I know it may be semi-controversial, but when I explain it, you'll probably be like, okay, it does make a little more sense. Please just hear me out. They go down in my rankings. As you can see, I got the lane train at Ole Miss. And I know. Please, I am begging you to just hear me out. Matt, they just lost to Florida. They got 3 losses. How in the world are they at number 12? I didn't think I was going to put them there either. But when you look at everything that else that happened, Alabama lost. Colorado lost. Texas A&M lost. So many teams lost that there's really nobody else you could throw in there at 12. I'm going to try to look at some of the, I guess, like other teams you could throw in there. See, BYU, they lost as well. Do have Clemson outside the top 12, so you could also maybe have Clemson there, but I still think Ole Miss with the 3 losses are better than Clemson, and I think they've done more than Clemson. Reminder, Ole Miss destroyed Georgia, and Georgia destroyed Clemson. South Carolina, I considered them, but I was like, well, they got 3 losses, and I think Ole Miss is a little bit better, and that's about it. After that, you got to start considering teams like, I guess, Arizona State and Iowa State, but of course I think Ole Miss is better than those teams. And here's the thing. I got Ole Miss there because, well, what they've done up until this point, in all 3 of their losses, nail biters. They could have easily won all 3 of those games. And that's really all there is to be said about that. They go down my rankings. Ole Miss, unless some huge chaotic mess happens in front of them, they're not making the playoffs, because remember, whoever wins the Big 12, if they're ranked 15th, and let's just say hypothetically speaking, Ole Miss is 12th, well, they're going to get in over Ole Miss because they won their conference. Coming in hot at number 11, and they are going to the ACC Championship. They go up in my rankings. This is their first appearance in my rankings, too. Now, think about it. I got SMU. Man, oh man, Red Ashley has done, this doesn't even do any justice, but he has done a heck of a job. And I just got to clap it up to him. That's a weak clap. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. A little bit better. I got to clap it up to him, that entire football program. They're undefeated. First year in the ACC. Just, like, I mean, come on now. ACC is not a gauntlet or anything, but dude, first year in any conference to go undefeated, that's amazing. And when you look at their body of work, they've done a lot of nice things. I just realized, too, I called him Rhett Ashley. I don't know why. It's kind of late. I meant to say Lashley. My apologies. I hope you don't get too offended by that. I'm looking at it right here. SMU destroyed Virginia today. Handled Boston College. Destroyed Pitt. That's what really impressed me. And they also beat a really solid Louisville team. I like this team. And unlike some other teams out here, they've been handling business. As we saw in Week 13, a lot of teams couldn't do that. They are sitting in a prime and perfect position of making this playoff. And this is what I'm talking about, why I don't like doing those hypothetical matchups and saying, okay, here's going to be your 5 auto bids. Because SMU, if they win the ACC, they're going to get one of those top 4 spots or top 5 spots. If SMU wins the ACC, they got a shot at getting one of those top 4 spots. So be on the lookout for that. At number 10, right ahead of SMU, and I'm very confident in this one. I do think they are overall better than SMU, but it's close. I got the Fighting Ashton Genties, Boise State. This is also their first appearance. I believe. Did I have them at 12 last week? I can't remember. I had them at 12 or 13 last week. I got Boise State. Now, has Boise State played anybody outside of Oregon? Or let's put it this way. Have they beat anybody? No. But I hate to even look at something and say, oh, well, that was a moral victory. No. They played the number 1 team in the country down to the wire. They took them down to the wire and only lost by 3 points. And outside of that, they've been doing their job. It's similar to SMU. I do this every time. I think I'm a little close, a little too close to y'all. Okay, that should be, yeah, that's a little bit better. Look, did Boise State look super duper impressive and insane against Wyoming today? No, they won 17-13. But there's so much parity in college football. It's reminding me a lot of the NFL. It seems like in the Power Four, at least, anybody can beat anybody. And if you can just win your games, that's all you really got to do. You don't even got to win by 30. Just beat who's on your schedule, and you got a great shot of making this playoff. And you got a great shot of being ranked inside my top 12. At number 9, they do go down in my rankings after a loss this weekend. It was a pretty bad loss, to say the least. But the season's not over. I got the Indiana Hoosiers. I had them at 7. They had a 38-15 loss to the little bro Ohio State, and now they're down to 9. Fortunately for them, a lot of other teams lost this weekend. Indiana is still, my humble opinion, a good football team. Are they really good? Probably not. I just got them in that good category. And I think a lot of people tend to have recency bias. I do it sometimes as well. You just saw them get pounded. I mean, like, some serious, it was a big pounding by old little bro State. But don't let that, I guess I'd say, let you forget about what they've done up until this point. Their average margin of defeat this year has been by 30 points. A 30 burger. 30 burger. They're in fine position. You lose to what I had as the second best team in the nation. I'm not going to degrade you too much. Still a good team. It was their first test, and that's the thing too. They haven't been tested all year long outside of the Michigan game. Ohio State, they're just a different breed, man. I mean, they got a $21 million roster. Most teams that play Ohio State are going to lose by 20 or 30 points. That's a conversation we need to talk about. Everybody was pointing their finger and laughing at Indiana today. Dude, more likely your favorite team, I'm talking to you, Bobby, will lose to Ohio State by 20 points as well. So shut your mouth. Indiana is still a playoff team. At number 8, this one may shock y'all. Like, a lot. And I'm not going to apologize for it or anything. Y'all just going to have to deal with this. I will explain, though, why I have them at number 8. So get ready for this. They go up in my rankings. I got the Penn State Nittany Lions. I know what you're sitting there saying. I already know. You ain't even got to write in the comment section. Matt, what? Are you kidding me, my brother? No, I'm not kidding you, dude. I'm not. I know. Matt, they just barely, and I mean barely, skimmed by Minnesota. By 1 point, it was 26-25. They only won because James Franklin had some big kahunas, big nuts, and decided to run a fake punt. I know, dude. But this Penn State team, what they showed me in that Minnesota game, was they know how to win. That was the definition of a hard-nosed, hard-fought, and gritty win. I loved everything about it. That's what I'd love to see. I have criticized this Penn State team really since I've existed on this earth. Well, guess what? Now it's time to give credit where credit's due. Heck of a play call by James Franklin. Heck of a game by Penn State. Minnesota, similar to other teams like we saw today. Oklahoma, Florida. Who beat Ole Miss? Florida beat Ole Miss. Auburn beat A&M. All these teams that have like 5 or 6 wins, dude, they're giving all these good teams a run for their money because it's their Super Bowl. They ain't got nothing else to play for. This was a huge win from Penn State. I really believe now, for the first time in a while, that Penn State is a legit contender. Now, do I think they're going to win the championship? We'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, they're a playoff team. Indiana, Penn State, they're sitting pretty. At number 7 in my rankings, they only go up because some teams in front of them lost. I got the U. There's not much to say about this one. They took care of business. And yeah, teams ahead of them lost. So, yeah, congrats to them. I like Cam Ward. I like this Miami team. They're going to give up a bunch of points, but they're also going to score a bunch of points. They're only going to go as far as Cam Ward can take them. They're probably not going to win a championship just due to you got to have some type of defense to win a championship. But I'd say they're easily a playoff team. I got them at number 7, so I like them. I know a lot of people don't like them. I do. Let's move on to number 6. This is where things probably start to get A wee bit controversial. At number 6, I got, and they go up in my rankings after playing a nobody, the Tennessee Volunteers. I had them at number 8 last week, and it's as simple as this. They are only going up because I had Ole Miss and Alabama ranked ahead of them. Those two teams lost. They dropped, and Tennessee goes up 2 spots. It's not that Tennessee did anything impressive this week. It's, like I said, I sound like a broken record player, but I'm trying to explain this and dumb it down for people. Teams in front of them lost. I like this Tennessee team. I thought they played a good game against Georgia, although they lost the game. And that is possible. I know a lot of people can't comprehend that, but you can do that. At number 5, this team is really, and I mean really, coming along. They are playing not just some good, but great football. And who would have thought these words would be coming out of my mouth this year? I got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in the top 5. Trust me, nobody's more shocked than me, myself, and I. But I got to do what I got to do. I got to. I know. My entire career on YouTube, I've stated Notre Dame should be banned from being ranked inside the top 10. But, dude, you got to put them in there. They for sure got to be in the top 10 in your ranking. I got them in the top 5. They are just milly-whopping teams. I'm talking about. Like, we talking about how Indiana's been pounding on some teams outside Ohio State game? Nah. Notre Dame been doing the same thing. They've been smashing teams. I'm talking about curb stomping teams. I'm talking about eviscerating teams. It's been bad. And I like the way they play football. The only thing that's been holding them back at times this year is Riley Leonard. These past couple of weeks, he's looked really comfortable. And if he gets comfortable, watch out. That's all I'm going to say. I know everybody's sleeping on Notre Dame, but I firmly believe this. Nobody, I mean absolutely nobody, should want to play this Notre Dame football team. They look great. At number 4, they go up because teams in front of them lost. I think my marker's drying out. Texas. Let's keep this one short and simple, guys. Texas took care of business. Teams in front of them lost. I would love to talk about them for 20 minutes, but that's all there is to say about that. At number 3, guess what? Teams in front of them lost. Oh, that was not good. We'll just leave that in the video. Like I was saying, teams in front of them lost. And, oop, that was a bad arrow. They beat Texas, so I have them ranked ahead of Texas because unlike the committee I value head-to-head, I got the Georgia Bulldogs. By the way, congratulations, I guess, to the Georgia Bulldogs. It's official. They're going to the SEC Championship. Did y'all really want that? I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Some people think if Georgia loses in the championship, they get booted out of the playoffs. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah, I mean, Georgia, they've looked really good this year. They've played an insanely tough schedule. Yeah, they got a couple of losses, but those are two good teams. Like I said, those are on the road to Alabama, to Ole Miss, and they beat Texas. I mean, they destroyed Texas. I don't understand the committee's got Texas ranked so high. Texas ain't really beat anybody. And how can you say that Texas is better than Georgia? I don't get that. At number 2, you know they're not going to move. There's literally nothing to say here. I got the little bro, Ohio State. Really love this Ohio State team. They dominated today. And at number 1, they don't move either. I got the Oregon Duckies. Now, I didn't even really think about this. I guess some people could try to argue and say Ohio State should be considered for the number 1 spot. But to me, there's nothing to talk about. Oregon beat them. I mean, like it goes back to this question. Only if there was some way we could decipher who's better between Oregon and Ohio State. Oh, wait, there is a way. They played a game, and they played against each other. And who won? Oregon. So, what are we doing here, guys? Oregon won. There is no conversation. And that is the top 12, the new and improved MBG poll. A lot, and I mean a lot of movement. You got Ole Miss going down, SMU, Boise, Penn State, Miami going up, Indiana goes down, Tennessee, Fighting Irish, Texas, and Georgia go up. Top 2 stay the same. I feel like the top 2 have stayed the same the past 10 weeks at this point. Yeah, there's a lot of movement. I'd say the biggest winner of this week, believe it or not, There's a team that didn't even really play anybody, and that's Tennessee, just because of all the chaos. Because last week, they were in a bad position. It looked like they were going to get left out. Now, they went out, they control their destiny. But as we saw this week, much easier said than done. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Tennessee plays Vandy this up-and-coming week. Not exactly a cakewalk, so we'll see what happens there. Yeah. Not too much more to say. Like I said, I did consider South Carolina and Clemson and one or two other teams at 12, Alabama, of course. But here's why I put it to you like this. I narrowed it down to Bama and Ole Miss for 12, and I gave the edge to Ole Miss because Ole Miss, all three of their losses were like I told you guys, they were, what's the word I'm looking for here? Down to the wire. Alabama, the game against Vandy just outplayed them. Oklahoma just dominated them, and the Tennessee game wasn't down to the wire either, really, because Tennessee controlled that one. Ole Miss's game, nah. They should beat LSU, and they also should beat Kentucky. And the one today, they just let that slip away. Many more things I could say. I'll end it off here. Let me know your thoughts on this list down below. But